What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Real Junkies. I am your host, Farhan, here again with my man Vito, getting back into the action movie wave with The Raid 2, which we folded, or at least I did, because I hadn't seen this before.
Me neither.
Yeah, I'm about to say, if y'all seen the show, y'all done seen me say I think The Raid is one of, if not the greatest action movies ever made. So the fact that I just never seen the sequel is crazy. My opinion, I know, I get it. I'm not saying I'm right in this or that's like end all be all, but in my opinion, The Raid that's the best fight choreography I've ever seen in my life. So I'll say that. I'll say that much.
It is a great, and people talk about it's a great action movie, like 100% great. It's just there's so many action movies out there that I haven't seen
Yeah.
in so long that I would feel uncomfortable saying that it's the best
Yeah. That's
because
fair.
he does take eco. I want to say his name is Uwais. His motherfucker be fighting though. So
Rama
and I
got
say that
hands.
because just the fight style is different from what you would see as a Jackie Chan and Jet Li. So where any American action movie, our action movies is all gun.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all
Hand-to-hand combat
gun.
ain't like this.
It's all gun with a little fight. This shit, or at least this one, Raid 2, I think the first one as well
Both of
was
them just
all
pure
fight
hands.
and a little gun.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hard to justify me saying it's the greatest without going back and watching some of these movies that are.
Yeah.
And like I say, the fight, the fighting style of his is just different than what we see before because a lot of the other martial arts is like his stuff is quick. He does a lot of quick movements. It's not a lot of power behind him sometimes, but it's so many that you end up feeling it. Whereas you watch some other kung fu or karate or martial arts movies, and it's powerful hits. They don't want y'all. They're not trying to hit you too many times. So, and that's a quick tangent about it might be one of the well, I
I
will
can't even
say
call that a tangent.
it's definitely up there. I don't think anybody can say it's not up there as one of the
Yeah.
best action films ever made though. The
Yeah.
first one. This one I think this one was good, but it just was not a raid to me.
Yeah, this one is very good actually. I thoroughly enjoyed this, but I agree with you. It's not the first movie. The first movie had like a certain tone and pacing that this movie just couldn't have, just off
Yeah.
what they're about, right? The first movie is, you know, a group of police officers go into this high rise to
You
try
know
to
what it was?
find this
Judge
find a
Dredd
robber.
without guns.
I so it is, but the Raid came out first, so I can't. Judge
Oh,
Dredd
did
is
it?
really, yeah. Judge Dredd is
Okay.
actually, well, the version of Judge Dredd that you and I are thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the Carl Urban one, right? Yeah, yeah. The version of Judge Dredd you and I are thinking of that came out after the Raid did. So
What
that's really
about
the Raid with guns. Actually, when you really want to look at it like that.
B
I never saw Beat
you seen Brick Tower? I think Brick Mansions was the American version.
Brick Mansions. Was that with Paul Walker?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it. Like, I saw it on I was in the barbershop one day and they had it on, but I didn't like watch it for real.
B13 was takes place in a tower. Is why I bring it up.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fighting in it. Brick Mansions was
I mean, like I said, I was casually watching it in that
they threw
barbershop. I was
Paul
like, that
Walker
movie's
in
some
there because
bullshit.
he's a big American actor, and they wanted to bring this movie over, and it just did not translate well.
Yeah. You know, I was catching some glimpses. I was like, yeah, that looked like some bullshit. I'm not watching that. And I just kept it pushing.
And then they placed it in Detroit too. Fuck y'all niggas.
I ain't gonna lie, and it's very slight tangent until we get back. I've noticed that's like a thing movies do, where it's like we need a fucked up location, Detroit. I've noticed that. And for those of y'all who've seen Barbarian, y'all know what I'm talking about, where the lady walks out her B&B and just looks at the most destitute neighborhood ever. And then later on in the movie, she's like, "Oh yeah, my Airbnb's in Brightmoor." Like, come on, bro, you ain't have to. Like, it could have just been a nameless location. Like, you didn't have to do that. But anyway, back to the Raid 2. I will first, before I get too deep into it, we gonna show you this little teaser real quick, just so y'all can get an idea of just what we talking about when we say this movie is pure hands and nothing else. So
A
y'all
little
can,
bat and hammer.
little bat and hammer, some wine bottles, just some other inanimate objects, but for the most part, is
And
straight hands.
glass. This scene was crazy too. must have missed the scene. I I do not recall the escalator scene at all.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
I do
I ain't
not
gonna
recall that escalator scene at all.
I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking that too when I first watched that trailer. I was like, I feel like that was one of you, but trailers do that though. They'll like have
Yeah,
scenes
they
in the trailer that
add
aren't in the
scenes,
movie.
yeah.
I watched that, I was like, that
Maybe
wasn't
it's a
in there.
deleted scene.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I'm tripping. That wasn't in there. Okay, I'm glad you confirmed it because I thought that watching it. I'm like, that scene was not in there for sure. But yeah, kind of getting into this, like we said, the first raid is a very self-contained story. Bunch of
Mhm.
police officers in a high rise trying to find a crime boss. The high rise is literally just a crime boss and all his people. So, and the police officers basically get trapped in there. So now they fighting for their lives to try to get out. Most of them don't make it. And Rama, the main character, is giving out pure hands from start to
Throughout the
finish
whole movie,
throughout
dog.
the whole movie. And for the most part, it's belt to ass. He's like wiping the floor with a lot. This movie is a
Well,
little bit
hold
more
on, because
expanded.
the first movie sets up this movie. The second
Yes, it
movie
does.
takes place hours after the first raid, okay?
Yes.
Now, within that first raid, they find out that the raid that they're doing is not a sanctioned raid by the police department.
Hmm.
There's, corrupt, lieutenant,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
Corrupt lieutenant who he wants to kill the crime boss in this building for I forget the reason, but just know he's there
That
to
was
do
the
that.
actual goal of why they were there in the first
Yeah,
place.
he wasn't there to arrest anybody. He wanted to kill him for his own personal reasons. Rama, who is Iko Uwais, I hope that's how you say his last name. I was trying to look it up how to pronounce it. I cannot pick it up, so we just gonna call him Iko, so we're not butchering his name. But his brother is also a criminal. So Rama's
Yep.
brother is a criminal, and he finds his brother this death trap of a building, and his brother helps him kind of escaping, or his brother helps him out of a sticky situation where they were not going to make it out of. Just so you know, like his brother pretty much at the end of the movie, he's like, "Hey, you need to go on. I'm helping you out. Do this, do that. I can protect you as a police officer within this building, but you cannot protect me as a police officer on the street."
Mm.
So basically, he like, we got to just go our separate ways. It is what it is. Do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing. This movie takes place hours after that, and Rama's set up with I don't want to say Eternal Affairs because that motherfucker is not Eternal Affairs.
That I don't know what he was,
He
but he wasn't IA.
he's like a special police unit that's hunting corrupt cops, but he's like hunting them. He does not care about
On some
them.
Punisher shit.
Yeah, he does not care about them making it to trial. So he puts him in touch with him. He says, "Hey, I want you to work with me." He says, "Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go do my thing."
He said, "Nah,
Um,
nigga, you finna work for me."
Rama's brother dies. I didn't even realize that was his brother at first.
I recognized him from the first movie, but it took me a while to realize who that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his brother dies from the actions of another crime lord. Okay.
Mhm.
So now Rama's like, "Ah, I'll work with you. I'll help you do this." Because
Mhm.
the corrupt cops is the reason that these gangs are able to pretty much take over and operate the way they operate because cops are protecting them. And
Mhm.
there's at least one scene. There's a few scenes in here, but there's one scene, and I think y'all seen it in the trailer where he was in a car where some overzealous and corrupt cops are trying to get at him. So the whole goal of this movie is to take down corrupt cops, but they do that by working with or he's going undercover. I'll just put it like that. He's going
Yeah.
undercover in this movie.
Yeah, that's essentially the majority of the plot, like you said. Task Force, because we're not gonna call them IA, they definitely not that. Like, they was getting down. The second scene, like, you realize they not IA, they just murked the dude just casually. I'm like, "Alright, definitely not internal affairs."
I was so confused about who they were. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
is this another criminal? Like,
That's what I was at
what
first because 'cause I'm thinking, I'm
what is
like,
happening here?
once I saw that, I'm like, "Alright, this can't be 12 because I don't think you're supposed to do that." I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he's supposed to get a trial. Like, I don't think you just supposed to gun him down in that way. Well, never mind, we ain't gonna touch that.
I don't care about a trial.
Yeah, yeah, man, what? So, basically, Rama is undercover for the vast majority of this film. It's like he's kinda like double undercover. He's undercover within a crime organization, but he's not trying to get the people in the crime organization. He's trying to figure out what corrupt cops the people in this crime organization are
Yeah,
working with. So, it's like he's almost double undercover. He can't blow his cover to the criminals, obviously, but they're not who he's chasing. He's trying to dig a layer deeper. So it's almost he has to like dig deeper than a normal undercover, officer would in this situation. So the vast majority of this film, it's paced very differently from how the first one is, right? Because like I said, first one, it's the pacing is like this.
It's on go.
It's on go immediately and it stays there because you're in this self-contained building and everyone's fighting for their life. There isn't really a lot of time for character development and story. And
Story.
honestly, the action scenes are so good, you don't really care. That's what carries the first one. And to me, that's why I say like the first one's one of the best action movies ever, is because it's so devoid of a real story, but the action scenes are so fire, you don't care. Like that's how
So
fire the action sequences are in the first one. This one actually does try to give a little bit more character moments and have
story.
more development. There's just a lot more characters in this in general than there were in the first movie. And this is longer. This is like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. So that's one of my issues with watching foreign films with subtitles is it's hard for me to shut my brain off. If I'm not in the theater, it's hard for me to shut my brain off and read a screen the entire time. And the,
Mhm.
the subtitles, there are a few parts in this movie where the subtitles, like they put that shit up there, didn't take it down.
And then take
Like
bro,
it
I
was, I
tried. I ain't
had
gonna
to
lie,
rewind a few
gang, I tried. Like I sat down, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna
times.
watch the subtitle version. I'm gonna try to see this in its original form. Bro, I
Wait,
got
it was
two
an English
scenes in.
version?
Huh?
It was an English version?
Yes, yes, there
Damn.
was. You had to hunt for it though. It wasn't in the usual spots. I'll just say that.
Okay. Okay, I got you.
But that tried like first two scenes. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just try to watch this as it was intended. And bro, I got like two scenes in. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, I done missed like 3 lines of dialogue. They're not keeping that shit up there long enough.
And
I'm not trying to read this.
that's when I noticed it was at the beginning of it, so I don't know
Yes.
what was going on, but those beginning scenes, they flashed the words up there so fast. I mean, luckily, it wasn't
Mhm.
that much dialogue, and
Yeah.
like you said, so the original is like I said, it's foreign film, it's subtitles, they didn't dub it, so it's a lot less that you have to read though. One, it's a shorter
Yes.
movie. Two,
Yes.
they're on go. So when motherfuckers is talking in the first one, they're usually cursing at a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like most
Like
of the dialogue, you
yeah.
get like 3 parts of dialogue in the first one. It's like, okay, we doing this. Okay, this is why we doing this. Okay, this is why I'm doing this. Hey, this is my brother. Hey, you're the main bad guy. Well,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
we're there. So like, but this one, like you said, he's undercover is not self-contained, it takes place over the entirety of the city. And then, like you said, it's more layers to what he's doing because he's not just trying to take down he's not trying at all to take down the criminals. He's trying to take down the police.
Yeah.
And I'm still confused about how the guy running that show thought this was gonna work.
Nah, dead
Like
ass.
like it
Dead
just
ass.
it did not make sense. It just
Yeah.
did not.
Yeah, no, this was a lot more moving parts for sure than the first film had. Just off the strength that there's more locations, right? We're not telling a story in this self-contained one building. And then you just get to see Rama in a lot more different situations than the first film called for.
Wow.
Like I said, a lot more characters. But one thing I did appreciate about this film is the fight scenes were like turned on 10 in
Dog.
this. Like I think
Right.
like the fight choreography in the first one is masterful, and there's only 2 scenes in this movie that I really felt like made it up to the fight choreography level that the first film had
You
as
gotta
far
tell
as
us which ones are.
consistency. Huh?
Which ones?
The end one in the kitchen,
Okay.
that was
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
That was crazy.
And it
That
was
was like
long. Like
yes, like it was an extended like that, bro, that was
Yeah.
slow
Okay.
clap to them for that. That kitchen scene was crazy. That and then that whole car sequence from start to finish.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, the whole car sequence start to finish. Those are
Man,
the 2 scenes where I felt like they were on par with the action in the first one, but the action in this is still really good, and to me, there's a lot more of it, just because the movie's longer,
yeah,
so they're able to have just more scenes of action, but to me, they're not the fight choreography in this isn't always on par, like, the first one was
yeah.
straight, like, pure martial arts at its, like, peak, you know what I'm saying? This has scenes where the fighting styles kinda change, like, there's a prison fight in this,
I
you know
was
what I'm
just
saying?
that's the one I
Yeah,
wanted
like,
to
there's scenes that they're
bring
not
up.
as strong as the fight choreography as the first, but there's more of it in this, and it makes sense why it's not because this film it's paced different and it's trying to accomplish something different than what the first movie did, right? The first movie was literally, "We're just trying to show y'all what an action masterclass looks like," whereas this is it's actually trying to tell more of a story in this movie and be a little bit deeper, and it's successful in that. I'm not saying that the scenes where they try to give more character backstory or, give a little bit more in terms of the development of Rama and some of the other characters in this, those are done well, but, sometimes that is put a little bit more focus on than, like, just strictly focusing on the action, if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, once again, action in this is still cool, still top notch, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's still the raid, so you're gonna get what you came here for, but I think that you just kinda have to go in with that mindset of understanding the differences between the first one and this, like, both very good in their own right, but they function differently as films.
And I hadn't seen the first one in a long time, so for me, I really don't. I remember watching it just, like, being amazed at it, but I don't remember the particulars of it, to be
Mhm.
honest with you. So for me to go in this watching it fresh is I'm like, "Okay, it's good." But like I said, I didn't look at it like, "Oh, shit." Like, I wasn't just blown
Yeah.
away watching it, and part of it is that, like you said, some of the fight scenes are so like I said, I would've said the last fight, but I also would've said the one with the Planko or Prakoso, the machete guy.
That one
So
was cool. Okay,
when he
yeah.
was at
Yeah,
the club,
yeah,
because that's one of my notes. I was like,
yeah.
"Hey, he activated this nigga like the Winter
Yeah,
Soldier,
bro,
dog."
no cap.
He activated this nigga like the Winter Soldier, and we'll get back to it, but the prison scene, I it was cool at first, but it went on too long, and I think
Like,
that
way too long,
that was
like
one of the problems that I had with some of these scenes where they were just too much.
yeah.
So, not only can you couldn't tell who was who, there's guards fighting, it's fucking prisoners fighting, but they're fighting in the mud. So, like,
That made it even worse.
at a certain point, like, niggas just is fighting everybody and you don't know who's who. You don't know who's a
Yeah,
guard. If you can see a helmet, cool. But some of the
yeah,
guards didn't have their helmets on no more. So you
yeah.
don't know who's a guard, you don't know who's a prisoner.
It's just people getting their ass whooped.
You see the main people that we looking at. Those are three people that we looking at. You're like, okay, I know who this is. I know who this is. But yeah, so I didn't even feel the car scene to me was kind of OD.
But it was so, like, it was
I'll
pure
say
entertainment,
I'll
though.
say
That
the
shit
car
was
scene,
so fire.
just the car part though. The
The
rest
whole
of the
thing.
No, I'm saying the car part to me was OD.
Oh,
The
okay, okay,
rest
okay, I
of the
get what you're
scene
saying.
I thought was fine. But like I said, they add a lot of people in these fights. So like I think the most people he fought in the first one might have been like 4 or 5.
E
He's
man,
fighting like 20 niggas. Like
at the same time in one
the
scene.
first time that you see him fight, he's fighting inside of a bathroom stall. Now, those first like 7, 8 people, he beat the shit out of them. Like
Beat the dog
relentlessly.
shit, bro. Pieced them up so
And
bad, bro.
I'm sitting there thinking, bro, he knocked the first dude out like quick. Second dude went down, come back up. That third dude, he closes the door and gets the working buddy. I'm like, I know he pissed, bro. I know he is pissed
I ain't
because
gonna
he was
lie.
getting his ass beat.
That was starting to bother me because it wasn't even just that scene. There's several scenes in this movie where it's like one against more than one. I'll just say that. One against many. And niggas is always taking the approach of attacking them one or two at a time. Motherfucker, it's like 8 of y'all.
Well, they did catch on.
Eventually, after like 7 of them got pieced up, they like, yeah, okay, we should bum rush this motherfucker.
You
Like,
also got to think about it, dog. Can all these niggas fight? Because again,
clearly not.
a nigga a nigga like him that can fight, if he's fighting another nigga that can fight, they can take those punches.
Yeah, yeah,
They're trained to operate like that to fight
yeah,
back
yeah.
for whatever random ass reason.
Mhm.
And this nigga walks up by himself ready to fight. I'm like, hey, bro, we might need to go because he knows
Confidently.
something.
Yeah.
And then he beats the shit out of the first three people like effortlessly.
Yeah.
And we still wanna, nah, we need to go. Retreat, nigga.
Retreat. But okay, now let's take that exact same scenario, but it's 20 of us against that one dude.
He beat the
You get what
shit
I'm
out of all.
saying though? Like,
It's
bro,
it
like,
gets it gets ridiculous. And it's not just him that does it. It's other characters that fight like he does.
hey, shout out to the Hammer Girl. She was
The
she was
Hammer
getting busy.
Girl, Percoso, the baseball dude didn't even really fight that many. He fought like
Yeah.
4 at once. But they again, like you said, they were all staggered. So like
Yeah.
one ran up, one stayed there, the other two came up. So like,
Yeah.
but most of the time these niggas was not. You get them first. But
Pretty
but
much.
also like when you see that first nigga get knocked out, you like
Especially when he gets did that bad, you're like, "Damn, this did
And
that
you
nigga
like,
dirty as hell."
I don't know how to fight like that. I can fight. All right. I done been in some fights, but if I see a nigga get done, he punch you and you fly on your back, and then he punches you again in your face when your head go up. Ah,
Bro, anyone who's punching you so fast that I can't tell where their hands just went, I'm straight, bro. Like,
I'm
we
going to
just
shoot
don't
you.
like, you know what I'm
Hey,
saying? We not throwing
what's that
hands,
one
bro.
video? Get the gun. Go to the house.
Like, yeah,
Get the
bro.
gun.
We're not
Yeah,
fighting,
we're
bro.
not doing that.
Yeah,
We're not doing
we're
that,
not
buddy.
this is not about to be a fair altercation,
This
bro. I
this,
can't,
this man is a killer.
bro, with pure
Okay.
hands, like,
And last thing I want to say about an insane scene was the prison scene, bro. Like they were just doing shit. There's a
yeah.
scene where he grabs the nigga's bottom of his jaw and then he grabs
Bro,
his nose
bro,
and he's pulling it. I'm sitting there like,
I was so confused. I was like, "Nah, fam, am I watching The Boys? Like, is he really
bro,
is he
it
really doing
would.
that?"
So like I said, like the fight scenes were good. They're not as good as the first one by a long shot.
I'm with you. Those first couple action scenes, especially everything in the prison, was pure chaos.
Uh,
But I'm with you though. Not as effective as the first film as far as just pure action, but I still thought it was still high quality. That's why I ain't gonna say the first one got it by a long
I ain't say it
shot,
was low quality.
but
I'm just
the
saying
first
like
one got it,
the
but
first one
not
is
by a
just
long
that high.
shot.
Yeah, the first one
Yeah,
is so to me, the first one is just that high up there for me.
that's fair.
Like
I'm
when
with that. Yeah,
because
I'm
I
with
can
that.
look back at, some Jackie Chan, Jet Li movies, and I'm like, okay, it accomplishes the goal of being a good action movie without all the gore.
Uh-huh.
And so for this to go so over the top in some of these scenes,
Yeah. It was like very it did push the boundaries a little bit for sure.
and again, I'm somebody I don't mind watching a nigga get his face pulled off, but like it just felt
It was
so
out of
out of
nowhere.
place.
It was out of nowhere for sure.
It
I was
was
like,
so
"Damn, I ain't
random.
know that's what we was on in this."
And go ahead, because
No, there
I'm
was
that's gonna be one of my critiques when I pull it up.
yeah,
Look for
there
my
was one
kids.
character who I did wanna shout out, Uko, because him first of all, he's
Uh,
terrible. Yeah,
terrible person, terrible all
terrible,
around.
like, horrible.
But
But
again, look who his daddy is. That's how he was raised.
exactly, and also to me, he was the most compelling character in this actually for a lot of reasons.
No, he was.
You know what I'm saying? It's a very classic story, right? Like a major crime boss has a son who he isn't ready to elevate yet, but the son is ambitious and ready to take the crown. So just off the strength of that, they're butting heads now. That's a rival comes, gets in the son's ear, and y'all can imagine where shit goes from there. I don't want to tell too
But
much,
he
but
did. We gonna tell a little. We're not gonna tell a lot more. But we gonna give some stuff away. But
this movie
he
came out
def
over 10 years ago, so
yeah, he definitely. What was his name? Biko.
Biko, I think. Yeah.
So Biko is the guy that killed
Yeah, Biho.
Rama's Biho.
Yeah.
He's the guy that kills Rama's brother.
Yeah.
Now, I missed it again because the subtitles were going so fast. Was Rama's brother working for Uko's dad? Because he kept
He
saying the old man.
The old man, yes.
Okay,
Cause he said, Bangun, that is Iko's dad or
okay.
Uko's dad, yes.
And so his brother dies like 3 years before the rest of the movie starts. So like I
Mhm,
said, the movie starts directly after this, but then 3 years later, or then his brother dies, and then 3 years later he goes undercover.
mhm.
And he still ain't got that much power, the other guy.
Yeah,
Like, he has some power, but I'm thinking this motherfucker would've taken over by now, so, in
yeah,
my mind, the person that he was trying to get out the way was already gone.
yeah, and also, like, the it's not even just the fact that Uko didn't have power yet, it was the things his dad was sending
Not
him to
Uko,
do
the
was
other
like,
guy.
"Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
got
I
you."
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Uko has some power too, but
But
go ahead.
it wasn't that, and Uko was being sent on, like, missions where it's like, "Are you really setting
Yeah.
me up to take over right now, or are you just giving me busy work?" You know what I'm saying? So, like, it was a legitimate gripe, and then, of course and it's well,
So
I'll
so
just
this
say
why
I understand where he's coming from. I ain't gonna say it was a
so
legitimate gripe, but I understand where Uko was coming from.
this is why I can't say that because I think for you to run a successful organization, you need to know how all parts run,
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
We don't know what he was doing before he went to prison.
That is
That's
also
my
true.
only that's
You
my
know
only
what? That's a
problem.
fair point because he was in
And
jail at the start of the movie or in
so
prison at the
when
start
he
of the movie, so
comes
that's fair.
out, he kind of portrays himself as and there's a scene. There's a scene where they're in a karaoke bar and one girl sasses him. I don't I hate that I just said sass because they've been saying it at work a lot. Just now it's on my head. So she talks back to him and, he's like, "Yo," she's like, "I don't know who you are," or something like that. He's like, "I'm the person you should be afraid of because of who my
Yep.
dad is."
Mhm.
That right there. That's
Yeah.
why he's not that's why he didn't have any real power. That's why he was being sent on errands to collect money because he's still talking about my dad, my dad, my dad. And he
Yeah.
goes into this dialogue about how powerful his dad is,
It's like,
and
"That
then
don't got shit to do with you, bro."
he's crying and complaining that he doesn't have any real responsibility.
Yeah.
And then
You
y'all
know
already
what?
know
You
how
convinced me, actually, you're right. I ain't
hey,
gonna lie.
hey, y'all y'all already know how I feel about timelines. We most movies we don't get a time frame of when how long things happen. So we don't have a time frame about how long did this happen that he decides to screw over his dad. But I'm guessing it wasn't too long.
Mhm.
But the he just he was being sent on those missions because he obviously hadn't been doing them before, and motherfucker driving around these beings. I don't forgot what he was driving,
Mhm.
and then you pulling on your dad's coattail. You trying to say my dad this, my dad that, but
Yeah.
everybody around him is telling him like you're going to be a great man. You're going to be a
Yeah.
strong you.
Yeah.
So when they compare it to his dad, now he's mad. Plus he sees like how his dad is getting down in business. He doesn't like it, but also he hadn't seen what his dad been through to get to where he's
To
at.
get to that point. You know what? You convinced me. I'm with it. Yeah, Ugo was spoiled brat. Fuck
Hey,
that nigga.
and that's hey, can we need a thing up on the screen that say Vito won because this nigga never changes his mind. So
You got one on me today, gang. I'll
we
give it to
usually
you.
just be at opposite sides.
You got me, because the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? That is kind of some wild shit. You talking about you want to be the boss, and every time someone challenges you, you talking about some. Oh, I'm gonna get my dad. You know what? You got me.
It's
You got
almost
me.
like, you run a country and
Hmm.
every time somebody asks you a question, you say, "Well, what about the last dude?
Yeah.
What about the dude before him? That was you. Well, before him."
You know what? You know
You
what?
are a weak man.
You goddamn right,
So
sir.
so,
It's crazy. It's almost like we're dealing with that right now.
man. So, but to one of the points, I just wanna go into one of my critiques real quick.
Hmm.
You talked about how Uko does have, and again, Uko does have the most progress in this movie, story-wise.
Hmm.
He kinda becomes a madman. He becomes a madman with no power, which is hilarious. That's even
Yes. Yes.
but he has a story, and Rama, whose undercover name is Yuta, okay? He has a story. Yuta's story honestly doesn't have much progress. He's taken away from his wife and child. He talks to them once that we see,
Hmm.
and then he's dealing with not wanting to do this job anymore.
Hmm.
It's getting too crazy for him. And then you get Biko, who he has a story, but it's like side story shit. You know, outside of that, there's no story progression. So even the beginning of the film when they're in prison, everybody that's the main guy that was trying to kill Uko was sitting at Uko's table eating with him on his side 5 minutes before the
Yeah.
fight started.
Yeah.
So like we don't see the disconnect that happens. We don't
Hmm.
see why they beefing out. Now, throughout the movie, we find out, and you find out at the end of the movie what really went down.
Hmm.
Okay. But you don't see that. And it's a lot of that throughout this movie where something happens. There's another undercover cop in this operation,
Yeah, bro. It
and
was so much shit getting thrown
there
at you.
is absolutely nothing that would have led you to believe that this person was a cop.
Hmm.
Absolutely nothing. So
Yeah.
they just, like you said, they just throwing shit at the wall and like, okay, this sticks. So and that's another reason why I say the first one was so good because the first one had a story. It had a very direct story,
Hmm.
very straightforward. It got to it. So it was able to get away with stupid action, and when I say stupid, I just mean good and over the top and good. These stupid action scenes and not a lot of dialogue because it didn't need a lot of dialogue. But when
It
you
was
have a
straight
movie like
hands.
this where you want to tell a story and you want to tell a complete story, you can't. I mean, you can't fall back on the action.
Yeah.
And if you are going to fall back on the action, it needs to be better than the first one.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, Imma just start out the gate with it. I'm giving this a standing ovation, personally. I would probably give the first one the same, honestly. Like, I think this is as good as the first in terms of what it's trying to do, right? Like, it's
I'm giving the
trying to
first.
be Yeah, I mean, when I say as good, I'm talking like, it's on par. I'm still giving the edge to the first movie. I think I would prefer the first movie over this, but as far as a proper sequel, like I think a sequel's job is in part A to, introduce you back into this world, but it's also to build upon what you built in the first movie. If the first movie is the foundation, the second movie is supposed to build upon that. And this movie did that at every point. You know what I'm saying? It delved deeper into the characters. Yes, the action scenes weren't as good as the first, which is why I'm gonna give the first one the edge, because at the end of the day, it is an action franchise, but the action scenes were still very, very good. And the kitchen fight scene at the end, that shit was crazy. Like, I'm telling y'all, that is one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen.
If you do that to a nigga, if you do what either one of them did, pure hands wise in a
Yeah.
fight, and a nigga keeps coming up at you, bro, call the cops, please. We do these classic movies and stuff like these throwbacks. I feel like we can stretch this a little, because we can say more
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
about the
facts.
movie. So real quick, I'm gonna give the first one. I'm giving an encore. I'm just put it out there. I'm giving the first one an encore.
Yeah.
It has an encore. As somebody that loves action movies, has always loved action movies, man. We weren't getting in 2011 when that first one came out. We wasn't getting niggas fighting like that. Real quick, Joes or the dude with the
Yeah, the
Bo.
dude with the cane.
He has a cold ass quote, not even 2-3 minutes in the film. He told Rama's brother, he said, it's really a question of ambition. And
Yeah.
then he said, it's a matter of your limitations. And
Limitations.
then he said, and knowing the importance of yours.
Boy,
Dog. He told this nigga, he's like, yeah, people are ambitious, people know their
he
limitations, but you
cooked.
need to know yours. The last thing is when they're on the train, baby girl with the hammers, bro.
Shout out to
She
her.
pulls out a phone, pulls up a picture of a nigga with a bag, and he's holding the bag like this. And when she puts the phone down, the nigga is still like this with the bag. Same outfit, same position. The nigga just in a different spot. And I thought that shit was so funny, dog. I'm dying laughing when this shit came across the screen, bro. Which I was waiting on from my end, which I'm gonna completely go against you on this one. I'm giving this one a polite applause. This is definitely a but I don't think it's a standing ovation wise because like I said, I gave the first one an encore because I'm going to go back and watch the first one.
Mhm.
This one's good, but I probably wouldn't go back and watch it. Honestly, the beauty of the first one to me was you didn't need that much story to it. I'm gonna stick with my polite applause. It's still a good movie, still a great movie if you like action movies, certainly. But we need to bring our action stars back. Stop putting niggas that aren't action stars. I'm fine with a nigga being a co-star or something, but he don't need to be the main nigga. Let us
Yeah.
get some action stars back. Keep those serious niggas over in those serious ass roles,
Let us know your thoughts on the Raid 2 or Raid 1 if you've seen both. Compare and
and
contrast
give us
which one
some
do you
other
think is better.
recommendations on good action movies, man.
Please do. We always, you know what I'm saying? If we not hit, put us hit on some action films that you all think we should check out and definitely ones you think we should review on here. Always continue to like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all the support. And until next time, this is The Real Junkies. Peace.